Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to join the coldest, most explosive, and most hilarious race cinema has ever seen. In 1965, The Great Race brought together flawless heroes, bumbling villains, a fearless reporter, genius mechanics, and a cast of actors who truly made their mark in Hollywood history. Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, and Natalie Wood made history in the wildest race ever to hit the big screen. But what were they like before, and what happened after? Buckle up. The before and after of The Great Race starts now. Tony Curtis was born in 1925 in New York City. Before racing cars through wild adventures across the globe, Tony Curtis was already one of the most famous heartthrobs of Hollywood's golden age. With his charm and that slightly mischievous smile, he lit up the screen in classics like Some Like It Hot, alongside Marilyn Monroe and Jack Lemmon, Spartacus, and Sweet Smell of Success. In The Great Race, he plays Leslie Gallant III, the perfect hero, always clean, stylish, polite, and, well, almost too perfect. He enters a wild race around the world against the villainous Professor Fate, and through river plunges, explosions, and stolen kisses, Leslie never once messes up his hair, a true James Bond of the racetrack. After the film, Curtis continued working in both film and television, including the series The Persuaders with Roger Moore and more dramatic roles in the 1970s. In the 80s and 90s, he slowed down and focused more on painting, one of his lifelong passions. Oh, and he was also the father of Jamie Lee Curtis, who inherited the family's talent. Sadly, Tony Curtis passed away in 2010 at the age of 85 due to cardiac arrest. Jack Lemmon was born in 1925 in Massachusetts. Before jumping into this crazy race, Jack Lemmon was already an acclaimed star. An Oscar winner and a master of both comedy and drama, he had already wowed audiences in hits like Some Like It Hot, alongside Tony Curtis, and The Apartment, where he charmed viewers with his awkward and lovable style. He was the kind of actor who could make you laugh and cry, sometimes at the same time. In The Great Race, Lemmon plays two hilarious roles: the villainous Professor Fate, a mad scientist full of wild schemes, evil laughs, and inventions that rarely work, and Crown Prince Hapnik, a drunken, washed-up royal from a fictional kingdom. With over-the-top mustaches, constant explosions, and a comedic rivalry with Tony Curtis, he steals every scene he's in. He's a living cartoon character. After the film, Lemmon continued to shine in masterpieces like The Odd Couple, The China Syndrome, and Grumpy Old Men. In the 90s, he moved audiences with his powerful performance in Glengarry Ross. He was one of the most respected and most beloved actors of his generation. Sadly, Jack Lemmon passed away in 2001 at the age of 76 due to bladder cancer. Natalie Wood was born in 1938 in San Francisco, California. By the time she made The Great Race, Natalie was practically a Hollywood veteran, and she was only 27. She'd been dazzling audiences since childhood with films like Miracle on 34th Street. In the 50s and 60s, she became an icon with hits like Rebel Without a Cause, Splendor in the Grass, and the classic musical West Side Story. She was already one of the most beloved stars of the era. In The Great Race, she plays Maggie Dubois, a fearless feminist reporter who decides to join the race to prove that women can absolutely compete on equal terms with men. With stylish dresses, sharp lines, and plenty of courage, Maggie goes head-to-head with the too-perfect Leslie and the unhinged Professor Fate. And of course, amid all the chaos, there's a romance, complete with kisses in the desert and debates about gender equality. After the film, Natalie continued to shine in dramas like Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice. Her career seemed poised for a new leap in the 80s when tragedy struck. Sadly, Natalie Wood died in 1981 at the age of 43 after drowning during a boat trip near Santa Catalina Island. The circumstances of her death remain shrouded in mystery to this day. Peter Falk was born in 1927 in New York. He began his career in theater, transitioned into indie films, and was soon nominated for an Oscar for Murder, Inc. and Pocketful of Miracles. With that unmistakable look, the result of a glass eye, which became his trademark, Falk proved early on that he was unique and unforgettable. In The Great Race, he plays the hilarious Max, the loyal and perpetually clumsy sidekick to the villain Professor Fate. Max is the kind of helper who always follows orders, even when it's clear they're heading straight for a disaster. He's the classic comic relief who gets laughs just by the way he looks at his boss right before accidentally blowing something up. A true cartoon duo comes to life. After the film, Peter Falk skyrocketed to worldwide fame with the role that would define his career, the iconic detective Columbo. With his rumpled coat, distracted gaze, and the legendary "just one more thing," Columbo became a TV staple for decades. Falk won 4 Emmy Awards for the role. Sadly, he passed away in 2011 at the age of 83 after a battle with Alzheimer's. Kenan Winn was born in 1916 in New York. The son of comedian Ed Winn, Kenan grew up surrounded by stages and cameras. He was never the leading man, but he was the kind of actor who could steal a scene with his energetic presence, slightly gravelly voice, and natural talent for playing all sorts of memorable supporting roles. In the 50s and 60s, he appeared in films like Dr. Strangelove and The Man in the Gray Flannel Suit. In The Great Race, he plays the delightful Hezekiah Sturdy, the loyal mechanic and partner of hero Leslie. Hezekiah is the practical, grease-covered guy who can fix anything with wire and tape, and always has some wild solution up his sleeve, like piloting a balloon in the middle of the Arctic. He's the balance between Leslie's over-the-top perfectionism and the chaos of the rest of the race. After the film, Kenan made memorable appearances in Disney movies like Herbie Rides Again and in TV series such as Dallas and Call to Glory. If you turned on the TV in the 70s or 80s, chances are you ran into him somewhere. Kenan Winn passed away in 1986 at the age of 70 from pancreatic cancer. Dorothy Proine was born in 1935 in South Dakota. Blonde, talented, and full of charm, she shone on TV in the Roaring '20s, where she sang, danced, and stole the spotlight. She also appeared in comedies like That Darn Cat and It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. In The Great Race, she plays the extravagant and vain Lily Olay, a saloon singer in an Old West town. She gets caught up in comical mishaps inside the saloon during a sequence that feels more like a Broadway musical than a car race. With flashy costumes and hilarious moments, Dorothy shows off her most comedic and theatrical side. After the film, Dorothy took on a few more TV roles but soon decided to step back from her career. She married director Robert Day and left the Hollywood spotlight in the 1970s, choosing a quieter life. Dorothy Proine passed away in 2010 at the age of 75 from emphysema. Arthur Okonnell was born in 1908 in New York. Okonnell may not be a name that jumps out at you right away, but he was exactly the kind of actor Hollywood loved: reliable, versatile, and with the look of a wise uncle. Before The Great Race, he had already been nominated twice for an Academy Award for Picnic and Anatomy of a Murder. In the film, he plays Henry Goodbody, the newspaper editor who organizes the famous race around the world. With his formal and diplomatic manner, Goodbody tries to keep order among the competitors. After The Great Race, Arthur appeared in TV series like The Second 100 Years, and his face was a familiar presence in courtroom films and family dramas. He passed away in 1981 at the age of 73 after battling Alzheimer's disease. Marvin Kaplan was born in 1927 in New York. Before The Great Race, Marvin had been acting since the late 1940s, standing out in both comedic roles and voice work, as well as making small but memorable appearances in films like It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. In the film, Marvin Kaplan plays Frisbee, a small, supporting role with a comedic touch, listed in the official cast. It's one of those quick appearances that helps set the movie's humorous tone. After The Great Race, Kaplan became well known for voicing Choo Choo in Top Cat. He had a recurring role as Henry Biesmeyer on the sitcom Alice and remained active for decades in theater, television, and voice acting. He passed away in 2016 of natural causes at the age of 89.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more amazing content, please consider subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us continue creating fantastic videos like this one. Thanks again, and see you next time.